Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Andrew with Fact HVAC, back here for another episode of In Good Company. Today, we're joined by Jeremy Betts from Flatirons Design Build, a construction company based out of South Dakota. Excited to have Jeremy with us. I've known Jeremy for a lot of years. He does some really cool things for Flatiron Designs with their marketing, podcast, and vlog production. So glad to have you, Jeremy. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you. Yeah.
Long way from South Dakota, but
just for this. I came just to do this.
Just to do this. So
all expenses paid.
Yeah.
By Fact HVAC.
Yeah, we don't pay our guests much. So obviously, again, thanks for coming out. Kind of tell me a little bit about your background. Obviously, you're doing vlogs and podcasts and digital marketing for Flatirons, but kind of tell me about your background.
Yeah, my work background has been mostly in the IT field. And so I've done a lot of IT jobs. On the side, I'm a musician, so I've done a lot of self-production for audio, dabbled in video. And so with those skills, kind of combine them to this role in Flatirons where we're helping produce web content, we're helping manage all of his IT resources, website, internal apps, that kind of thing. So it's cool. It's a mix of creative and technical, which I like. But we do have a lot of artistic freedom too. Another thing we do is we document all of his builds. So we build custom homes, large custom homes in the Rapid City area. So we just do a few a year. They're fairly large projects. So part of our role too is to document that build in progress, and then when it's done, put out a nice video, web content of a finished product that can then get us more work.
That's awesome. Now, you and your wife both work at Flatirons, right?
We do, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she has a background in marketing and HR, so she takes care of that side of things. I take care of the technical and artistic type stuff, but she's also a great help on set. We've got a set very similar to this, and we do our own show like this, so
that's awesome.
We're enjoying it, yeah.
Now, with your guys' vlog, first off, where can everybody find it at?
Flatirons Design Build on YouTube. Just search Flatirons Design. You'll see our page, and we have a couple different web series we produce going on. One of them's an ongoing chat like this around a table with some drinks. Although I am disappointed that this is only water. It is only 1 o'clock though.
So yeah, we try to keep everybody on point early. So kind of walk me through that, because obviously it's gone through a couple of iterations, right? You guys first started like in your basement, wasn't it? Which like
we
the
did.
First
yeah,
episode.
The owner wanted to see if this would work. He was interested in gaining a web presence because in our area that's kind of a unique thing. Mm-hmm. A lot of companies haven't really embraced social media or any kind of online presence, so we wanted to distinguish ourselves by creating a YouTube channel, creating social media. And just creating a really nice website, actually, flatironsdesignbuild.com, to kind of set ourselves apart from the rest of the crowd there, because we have a lot of people move there for vacation homes.
Right.
They'll build something because they want to just get away. And so they're coming from other states. They're just looking at our online presence and deciding based on how legit it looks if they're going to hire that builder or not. So we decided we wanted to start producing an ongoing podcast like this, to just let people see who we were, get to know us a little bit, see that we're real people and not just dirty construction workers. And so we started off in the basement. Yeah, I had a setup that took up my whole basement with lighting and audio and all the cameras and all that. And then we ended up building a studio and making that our permanent place. So we do that. We also do remote shoots. We'll go and do interviews on site, or we'll take a camera and drone on site and do some remote stuff. We've got some stuff coming up to be posted like that.
That's awesome.
We have home show events that we'll go and do little remote things on.
That's cool.
Hopefully dignified enough to be taken seriously.
Nice. How does it feel being in front of the camera instead?
I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I'm usually, when we're shooting our podcast, I'm at the desk, which you don't have a camera on the desk back there, but we have a desk in the same spot, and I'm sitting there with the camera behind me. And when I speak, it just sees the back of my head and the computer screens. So no one knows what my face looks like until now. So
you're like the bad guy from, what was it, the Smurfs, where no one, or Felix the Cat or whatever, where no one could see
very old references. I don't
Right.
know what those shows are.
No one knows. Well, obviously, thanks for stepping out in front of the camera this time. When it comes to kind of thinking about content for construction, one of the things that we always run into is how do you make content that is relatable, digestible, and entertaining for people when you're dealing with construction. Obviously, we're in the heating and air conditioning space. It's not a sexy brand new home, custom design, and all of that. What are some of the things that you guys have done to kind of make that construction process more marketable and palatable in the digital space?
Do you mean as far as what we're putting in our videos
Just
to make
anything.
it entertaining?
Yeah.
It's been a funny balance between the straight building type content or builder construction type content and something that's entertaining.
Right.
So we've tried to strike a balance between them both. We do a lot of stupid stuff like play dumb games and just stuff purely for entertainment, but we try to balance that with useful information about building and about the construction trade that would be useful for someone who's not in that trade. So we like to use, some time here and there to give tips about what we would recommend as far as what to buy. If you're a homeowner looking to do some DIY type projects, our favorite types of tools, our methods of construction that we like to use, input on how to fix problems. So we're still testing out things. I would say every piece of content we make, we're trying something new just to see what gets the most engagement online.
Nice. How many builds do you guys usually do in a year?
It depends. Because we're in South Dakota, there's a good time of the year weather-wise and a bad time of the year. So like right now, within the next month, we're going to have 5 or 6 projects going on concurrently all together. But then, a few months ago, we didn't have much going on at all. So it's kind of like you just build when the time is good, when contractors are ready to work. That's been an issue where we live too. But I would say in general, maybe 4 or 5 projects a year is what we've been shooting for. But honestly, with the creation of all our web presence content, we've gained much business from that. Nice. Even though it hasn't had a humongous amount of exposure yet, we're constantly getting work to the point where we can be a little more choosy about what we decide to take on now, which is nice.
Right. Are you guys seeing the same change like in South Dakota that everybody's seeing, where you have people coming from, California, Oregon, Seattle, kind of moving into more remote areas and kind of reinvesting in property out there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say a lot of the builds we have been bidding or that are coming up in the future year or two are people moving in the area that have bought property from out of state and have decided that they want to build a nice home, have shopped online for a builder, liked our look, and just asked us to give them a bid. We've built homes for a few people recently that live there in South Dakota, but I would say the majority of growth right now is coming from the outside because it has historically been a cheaper place to live up until about 2 years ago.
Right. Now, within Flatirons, obviously you and your wife do the branding, technical side of things. How many people? How big is the company?
The company is just 4 people.
Okay.
So it's my wife and I, the owner Dale, and his wife Becky.
Okay.
So between the 4 of us, we're running all of the logistics of a general contracting company / design build firm. Nice. And then everything else is subcontracted out for the actual build. But all of the design work is done in-house. Dale is our architect. He's taught me a lot of what I know now about the building type software, architectural software. So he does a full design. He's also a very good artist.
Yeah, I was
trying to get him to put some of his artwork on our podcast. He refuses.
Well, we won't fly you out, Dale, just so you know. We do want some artwork on our walls, but we won't fly you out.
Yeah, he'll design the whole house from scratch, usually his concepts based on a number of different designs, and sell that to the homeowner. Nice. And then hire subs to build it.
That's awesome. So on the more personal side, and then I want to really get into some really cool stuff that you guys do for the consumer experience. Mm-hmm. But tell us a little bit about the musician side and how you've used that part of your artistic expression and software development and all that to kind of get you here. So start from the beginning.
Very beginning, I started playing guitar when I was 12. And you and I have done this throughout
Right.
the years. We've dabbled at home.
Right.
And then it's only been within recent years that I've segued that into more professional type work, doing post-production for audio, mostly audio. Video has been strictly for Flatirons for the most part now, but that's a whole different beast we're learning. But honestly, a lot of it is self-taught and trial and error when it comes to functionally using that stuff. But I think having an artistic mind helps to know if something looks good and something sounds good. So that's served us well, I think, to know if something's entertaining,
Right.
to know how to edit. That kind of stuff I think comes more naturally to someone who's maybe got a history of being more artistic. The music part, I used to create all the music for our content by myself. But as we've pumped out more and more content, that's impossible.
Right.
Because I'm a perfectionist and I never finish anything when it comes to music. So we use a lot of other services that put out some licensed stuff that we can use, royalty type stuff that we can use in our content. But some of it's mine, some of it's not. But we still have full control over what's seen.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's such a fun thing to experiment. I mean, obviously, some of the things that we've done, we've built vocal booths in closets, in bathrooms, and tiny spaces. So that process of kind of just playing with stuff and seeing what'll work and what won't. You guys converted a whole basement into your studio, and so how's the music thing going for you right now? Are you finding that this helps you creatively with the music side as well, or?
To a degree, I think it diverts my attention a little bit, because now I'm trying to also learn how to do a few other things. I'm trying to learn how to render visual effects and create video content, create things that I've never done before. So I find myself having more fun learning how to do that than going back and working on audio. But I do have a side business that I do run, a studio project. And I'll have various people contact me to mix or master projects for them. I tend to stay away now from anything recording studio focused, having
Right.
people come into my house and track. I'm just not really into that anymore. But I'll do anything that's remotely capable of being done, or capable of being done remotely. It is remotely capable.
Or are you remotely capable?
Yeah.
The other thing is, I have to ask, so obviously because I've sat in with you editing music, taking hours and hours and hours,
Yes.
and going back again and again and again, are you the same way when it comes to your video production?
Yes. I'm learning that I shouldn't be, because that's the only 2% of 100 that will actually notice what I've done to make it 2% better. But yeah, that's just me. I'm more of a perfectionist when it comes to our artistic work. So I'm trying not to be. But I do like the process
Right.
of editing. I like putting together a video and adding all the cool post-production stuff in it. But it does take some time. Even if you're good at it, it takes some time to do it right, especially when you're editing multi-camera angles and trying to sync up audio and make sure everything looks and sounds good, and mastering and all that.
All right, that's the fun part. I always laugh because when Steve is in here, lights are all turned off, and I can always tell when he's editing because it's like a cave in here. So it's kind of cool. I miss that sometimes. But obviously, with the music production side, you're always kind of staying abreast to new technologies, new forms of doing that. It's kind of the same thing with Flatirons. You guys are doing and integrating some new technologies in helping your customers. What's kind of the newest one that you guys are able to do?
We want a homeowner to fully conceptualize their project, not just by looking at blueprints and a drawing and imagining what it would be like to be in their new home. We want them to really understand, okay, if I stand here in my kitchen what will I actually see in my house? Will I be able to look right into my master bedroom window? We had a house like that where a lady, said, I didn't realize that as I built it, that I wanted it this way, but now I realize I can look right into my master bedroom from the kitchen. So we've gotten into using and embracing different technologies like VR and 3D rendering for our projects. So we can take blueprints, we can take a concept that we design in-house, and we can turn that into a 3D photorealistic rendering of what that house will actually look like when it's finished.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
From multiple angles, and the homeowner can see how they feel about it. We can model it in VR and let the customer put on a headset and actually walk through their home to see if they like how it feels. Do I like, where this kitchen island is? Do I like that the stairs are right here? And really see what it would feel like in a real space.
That's awesome. And so you're going to kind of show us a little bit of one of the houses you did with this? Awesome.
Yeah, so this is a home that's currently being built right now. It's in the construction phase. It might be maybe at the point of being done with framing at this point.
Okay.
We've actually got a video coming out of this property, but this is we call it the Dogleg project. So this is the software we use. It's called SketchUp Pro. So it's one of many different types of software that does this. So we're able to render this home using the Google API. We're actually able to put this house on the actual slope of the property where it's being built.
Nice.
And so we can fully develop this home with all these realistic finishes and features to see what it actually look like. So here's just a way to jump around to see what this home will look like. So we can look at it from multiple angles. If you were wearing a VR set, you would be seeing this in VR and be kind of transported around it, or you could actually walk through it. So we're able to show lighting once this is rendered, to be able to show what this house will look like during the day, during the morning, in the evening. We can look all around the house.
That's awesome.
You see some trees here. We're just rendering it with a yard.
Right.
I mean, you could feel what it would be like to walk up to your front door. And all this is something that's created before the project even breaks ground. So the homeowner knows exactly what they're going to get. If they need to have things approved through an HOA, they can take this to an HOA and say, look, this is what our house is going to look like on the property. So we can do this, and then we can actually render it to, so there's like a photorealistic version of what that house looks like on that property.
Oh, that's awesome. That is very cool. And I mean, I'm sure with all of this is such a different touch, especially utilizing technology, and everybody's going to hear the train come through, so we might as well just acknowledge it. We are in a safe location just near train tracks. But obviously this is such a personal touch for your customers to help them. How's it been received when you guys have done it?
They love it. The homeowners love this. The HOA loves it because we're rendering it with realistic finishes. We've gone to the manufacturer's website, grabbed the texture of that product. So this is the actual stone that's being used on that job. This is the actual finish of that garage door. That's the actual metal roof that's being put on that portion of the roof. This is exactly what this house is going to look like when it's finished. That's the slope of the build, the property.
Right.
And you can see here we can render it in many different ways. There's what the house is going to look like at night, all lit up. This is something that I have not seen other builders doing,
right?
Especially in our area. So this definitely sets us apart, and we include this as part of our package when someone builds a home with us. We will develop this for them. It gives them a lot of peace of mind. Yeah, those are some things we can do. The VR thing is very new. We've only done it for a couple people, so we're waiting to see more how that's embraced. The technical limitations are a little bit sticky. We can't take them out to a build site and have them walk through it on the property,
right?
Because they've got to be tethered to the computer. But in our office, they can sit there and walk through it and
that's
see what
very
it looks
cool.
like. And it also helps us. It saves us money.
Right.
Because we don't have to go through change orders later when they realize down the road, oh, I actually don't like this. I don't like how this feels or how this looks. I wish I would have made my kitchen island longer. All that stuff can be addressed ahead of time.
That's super cool. It just adds such a nice personal touch. It provides that transparency to that buyer. Because this is a massive investment that they're doing, and so being able to know exactly what they're getting is super cool. And I thank you so much for sharing that with us. Apparently, this is going to be the longest train ever. So, with that being said, Jeremy, thank you.
High pass filter.
Right. Thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with us today.
Yeah.
Talking a little bit about Flatirons Design Build.
That's it.
And thanks,
Find
man.
us on YouTube,
Yep.
our website.
Smash the like buttons, do the follows, all the things the kids say today.
Yeah.
So-
We're friends on there, right? On
Yep.
YouTube?
Yep.
Are we?
I think so. I think we follow. We'll
Possibly.
follow. If not, we'll follow you
Possibly.
guys. And you guys will post this, we'll post it. So awesome, man. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us.
All right. Thank you.
All right, Steve. We're all done.